Hey, how's it going? I've never gone live on here. This is kind of fun. I'm riding my bike, if you didn't notice. So I want to share a little story. I don't know if this has been written anywhere. I'm guessing it must have, but in any case, it just came on my radar, so I figure I ought to share. I've talked about the beat phenomenon, the beat generation, as a cosmic intervention, and I found an example of it. I'm calling it an example. You can decide if you agree or not. San Francisco wasn't always the sexual free-for-all that it is now. And in fact, it was quite pinched and what other words could I use? Uptight, afraid, discriminatory, etc. And in fact, right up to the minute, practically, that the Sixth Gallery reading took place, it was really in a bad way as far as that stuff is concerned. A little bit of history. Most people know that it was, the Barbary Coast designated San Francisco as kind of a vice place. The gold rush happened. A lot of men picked up stakes and came west to try their hand at a strike. And then, because they were largely unaccompanied minors, literally, minor, M-I-N-E-R, M-I-N-O-R, maybe some of them, without female supervision, they would come to San Francisco and get their rocks off, right? Come to Terrific Street, where was the headquarters of gambling, and I'm getting closer to the road. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to do a U-turn so that you can hear me better. And, that became a designation that the city fathers, whoever was in charge in those days, kind of irked them, and so they shut down Terrific Street, tried to rebuild their reputation. I don't know how that went. But my favorite bar in the city is Specs, 12 Adler Museum, which I recently come to find out, a couple of chapters before it opened, I want to say in '68, was a lesbian bar that was connected through a back staircase to what is now the nudie bar, Adam and Eve on Broadway. 12 Adler Museum is in the alley directly across the street from City Lights Books and Cafe Vesuvio, for those that don't know. So it's a great little space. But it was a lesbian bar. The back part of it had, I think, a different name. I don't recall. I want to say that what is now Specs was called Tommy's Place. And it was run by a lesbian named Tommy Vasu. And Tommy, ran it there. At that time, you couldn't have a female-owned bar unless the owner tended the bar. I think that was the stipulation. The part that is now Adam and Eve was kind of like more of just kind of a lingering place. I don't know. But based on what I recently read, the Specs part was like the pickup place for the ladies to pick each other up. Tommy was quite the character. She wore a three-piece suit. She was basically a full-blown gangster. She wore a fedora hat, a three-piece suit. She had a more femme type girlfriend. And, I don't know what the general climate was, but long story short, come 1954, they decided, and maybe I don't know, she might have been doing other illegal activities, but it was clearly also kind of a witch hunt to try to shut him down, which they successfully did. They arrested Tommy, they arrested some other people, they shut the bar down, and it became something else for a time. And it wasn't until about 68 that it became what it is now. But on the heels of that whole experience, what should happen but the 6 gallery reading, which is radically pro-homosexual, radically sex-positive. Allen Ginsberg being a gay, sex-positive man. And everything freaking changed. So he was able to snatch the city of San Francisco. I'm giving him credit. What do you think? Snatch the city from the clutches of the teetotalers. What do you want to call them? The uptight group. And now San Francisco is proudly pro everything on the sexual front. And I don't see it getting snatched back. And so anyway, I think I'm on this weird cobblestone. Hopefully you've been able to understand what I'm saying without too much distraction. But that's the little vignette that I wanted to share. So, props to Allen Ginsberg and the others for cracking that scene wide open, just as it looked very bleak for those of various other sexual persuasions. Tommy, also based on what I read, her girlfriend became a drug addict, so she became a dealer to to help accommodate the person that she loved. Got sent to prison. She was a little shady, in addition to being a lesbian. But anyhow, she came out of prison and I think only lived a short time after that. But in her heyday, she was literally a gangster. She could get anything she wanted. She seemed to have unlimited money. And if she liked you, she'd get you anything practically that you ever dreamed of. Is what I heard. So, colorful person. To see pictures of her now, she has a very timeless look. And she didn't look, certain people have a certain look. She had a look that looked like she could have popped onto the street in front of me and I would never bat an eye, even in her full regalia and her full, butch kind of attire that she favored. Anyhow, that's all I wanted to share. Take it easy. If I can